Hello, Jess. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And so tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm Jess. I am born and bred in Adelaide Hills, a Lenswoodian, been here forever. I have a husband and 3 girls, and I'm a creative through and through. I have done all sorts over my time, from building design, interior design, sewing to all sorts. And that's why we're here.
Yeah. So tell me about Rustic Wren.
I've been doing Rustic Wren for probably close to 7 years. I'm obsessed with stationery. And I came across a notebook online one day on Pinterest, beloved Pinterest, and got caught in the absolute rabbit warren of notebooks and came across this beautiful leather one, and I'm like, I need to have it. And it was American, and I was not patient, and I'm sure I could make something like that. So I sourced everything that I needed, and next thing I knew, I was making stacks and stacks of notebooks, and it has grown from there. So I learned how to sew leather by hand initially, which absolutely killed my shoulders, because you have to punch the holes and then stitch everything individually. Now I use a sewing machine, so that has been a major game changer. But leather has just been something that has grounded me well and truly. Like, I have sewn since I was about 6. I think Mum started teaching me about 6 or 7. And I never could get it done quick enough. It was always in a rush. But ever since touching leather, I can fluff around on the same piece all day without having to get it done, finished, and move on to the next one. So I knew that it was like, this is where I needed it.
That's awesome. Has your mum ever tried sewing leather?
She helped me out to start with. She helped me, like, I'd punch all the holes and then I'd give it to her to sew. And that lasted a little while. And then she's not a big hand sewer anyway. So when I found that I could actually use an industrial sewing machine, it was like, get hand sewing. Like, hand sewing, there is a time and place for it. But with what I do, I've managed to make it all without the sewing machine.
Well, it's got to be more effective, surely. That's awesome.
Time effect,
No, that's good. Well, Jess and I actually know each other from school days. Our kids went to the same school, but we didn't really know each other that well.
No, not really.
We're both
other ends of the scale.
With kids. But it's been good to get to know you and have a yarn with you about business, and that's why we're here today, because I actually am quite inspired by your journey.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes, I've looked at your socials, and I love what you do. I've even got a book cover made, which is awesome. So so I thought I'd introduce your business and you as part of this project that I'm doing. But first, before I ask you a few more who, what, when, I thought we'd do a quick this or that. So it's quick answers. And just tell me what you think off the bat.
Sure.
No right or wrong.
That's right.
All right. Reality TV, yes or no?
No.
Wine or gin?
Gin.
Gin. Inside or outside?
Outside.
Christmas or Easter?
Christmas.
Scruncher or folder?
Folder.
Me too. All right, thanks. I thought I'd get that out of the way. So I'm now going to do a little part where it's a who, when, what, why, and how. Okay, so who do you feel inspired by in business?
I follow a lot of people online, and it doesn't necessarily need to be one person as such. I get a lot of tidbits from all over the place. To narrow it down, my mum has always been a sort of one of those benchmark with her business. She had business for 20 odd years, and I think it was just inevitable that I was going to do something, and my sister is too. So we sort of, I think she's sort of, we use her as a little bit of a, what are we doing, how we like gauge our progress, I suppose. She's sort of, that's been helpful, I suppose, and you sort of go, yes, you can do it. But then I get a lot of not advice, but I have a brand coach and she's been fantastic. Been working with her for nearly 5 years, and that was when Rustic Wren took it to the next level. So Christine's been fantastic. And then I've also just sort of, it's amazing how much when you read, like I read a lot of extra business books and things like that. So I can't even knuckle that down to one, but that's just been something that's helped me along the way as well.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. A brand coach would be awesome. I know there are a lot of different professionals that can help you with marketing and PR and CEO. I'm learning all about these things. But I know who you're talking about with Christine, and she also inspires me too. I'd love to work with her one day. So
it took me from being just a mum at home with the business, because that was when Tilly finished school, started school, being home with the kids for 10 years. I needed to get out of mum mode. And even though this is the beauty of being your own boss is that you can juggle with the kids. And sometimes the kids do take precedence over whether you can fit things in or not. But it's taken the brain or your approach out of just being mum into actually, let's pull your finger out and get this business working. So
and maybe from a habit or a hobby to a business, which
just
is
a bit
good.
more serious about things.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so what's the process when you get inspiration for a new product?
Inspiration comes at all different levels, different times. I get itchy feet. So if I have the same type of products all the time, I'm like, oh, how can I change it? But then I've worked out, no, I need to trust those products. And I improve them with how I'm making them anyway. But when I want to go make something new, like even the other week when I'm absolutely under the pump getting ready for markets, I then pull out something else that I have to, like I just got into a slump and I needed to try something new. So then I created this new bag that I could do crossbody, nutted it out, and I tend to draw it out, sketch it out a little bit to start with, basic measurements, but then I just go gun ho and go make it. So I somehow, like, it either works or it doesn't. There are many that don't, but often it's like, rip it, and then someone buys it and then they want to buy it again, and then you're like, oh, can I have the original product back so I can remake it, because you're taking my prototype. And so that I've learned now. I have all my templates and patterns written out and measurements because I've been stung a couple of times. But like, I've got a new project coming up that I'm going to be working on over the holidays, and it's not wallets. I have so much ask for wallets. I'm not doing wallets for now. But going to give something a try, which is really, really left of centre. But it's really exciting. So I'm like, I can't wait for Christmas.
No, that's easy.
Can't wait for Christmas to get sort of spend my family time, and then I'll get stuck into this.
But it's
one,
there,
I'm like, oh,
I know what you mean.
But it's making everything else worthwhile. So then it's like, I need to sell this, and this, so then I can spend money on something else. And that's the exciting bit.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. That's awesome. Okay, so when times are tough, especially around business, what do you do to pick yourself up?
Obviously I'm an avid journaler, and I journal mostly every day. When times are busy, it's actually when I need it most. Just to reassure myself that I'm on the right path, or it's even like a brain dump. I can chuck everything down on the paper, and then I'm better off at remembering it once I've written it down. I don't need to reread it, but I remember what I've written. But then I was taught once that write down when you're on a good, when you're feeling good, when you're happy and everything's running smoothly, write that down. And then when it is in a bit of a slump, and if you've lost motivation or you can't be bothered, you then reflect on that. And then that helps you going, okay, how did I get out of this slump to get back to that? And that is often the best thing I can do. I start writing out again, and I often go, all right, what's the one big thing that's not letting me do it? So whether it's I haven't got enough money to buy more leather, or I haven't got the motivation or the time, I focus on that. And then I naturally, I don't know if everyone else is, but I naturally just nutted out, and then I taught myself into a positive mindset.
So you find a way to get over that hurdle, that particular one you identify.
So I've sort of identify it, and then I
jump over it.
Yeah, and that worked really well. Like today is 3 years since the bushfire.
Yep.
And
wow.
that just
that just gave me goosebumps. Yeah, wow.
But I didn't let that.
Yeah.
It was funny because it's like that was such a horrible thing. But because I wrote myself through it, it was like, oh, we can get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was the best, like,
therapy as well.
Yeah, and like I didn't really talk to, like I talk to everybody anyway, but I didn't need to seek professional help because I'm like, well, I've nutted this out myself. Yeah. And thankfully, I can use that method on anything. So regardless, if I had my tooth out, I don't feel very good. I can sort of
keep going.
Click that switch, and I'm pretty good at getting back into.
You've worked out what works for you in that way, and you can.
And that's why I'm like, people go, oh, I don't want to use the journal. I don't want to start the paper and not know what to write. Yeah. Just start. That is the absolute best thing. Like even my girls, one of them might have a bit of a argument with the other one, and I'm like, just write about it. Yeah, like you might not need to write about the actual incident for very long, but you can just start writing
how made you feel.
And it might even be, you might end up with your shopping list at the end of it. Yeah. You sort of...
Brain dumping. I love it.
Don't ever read back. Like a lot of the time you don't need to. Yeah. And it's just just get the words out. Yep.
I love that. I love that.
So that's a very long-winded way to...
No, that's beautiful. Where will Rustic Wren be in 5 years?
Oh, hopefully on many, many shelves. That a lot of people... I want more wholesale. Yep. That's my direction for the next year. I want to be more interstate. Like a lot of interstate is already happening, but for me to get interstate. So I will do some more interstate markets. And every bar you go to, you'll see a Rustic Wren menu. Yes. That's a really cool one too.
That is so nice.
So we're doing a few at the moment, but we'll get further.
That's awesome. I can see that happening. Got a little visitor. Why does leather last so long?
It's just made. It's a natural product, and it's the way it's tanned just gives you that longevity. And the best thing is that people appreciate good leather, and you can
smell it. It smells divine. My husband's got a leather wallet that we got from America in 2016, and it's just aging well.
It's probably right at a good time now.
Yeah,
just getting worn in nicely.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite colour? I noticed you bought a green out recently, a fluorescent green.
Well, that's with the name Rustic. Everything I like to be really earthy and rustic. Yeah. I don't have I love them all. Yeah. Because I'm not going to keep anything I don't like. Yeah. But I have these. Oh, I just love them all. They're like
probably moments where you're like, oh, that one looks amazing.
And when I unroll a new fresh hide, when you get a new delivery and you roll them out and you're like checking out all the market, and they're just like, oh yeah, like there's just, I love it. Oh, yeah, and going to select new colours, it's really cool. Yeah. I will only stay in that rustic zone. There's a lot of people asking for like purple and pink. Yeah. I'm like, nah,
not your thing.
It's not rustic enough, and when they make colours like that, they take the character out of the leather. And like we do use an upholstery leather, but for some of them, like our envelopes that are just here, but they still have all the rustic touches to it. Yeah. So even though it's a thinner leather, it still has its beautiful character. Yeah. But majority of our other leather is all thick, and it's actually full grain leather, so they don't actually take. They just skim the top off, and they leave all the like barbed wire marks, the mosquito bites, the stretch marks from the big beautiful mummy cows. Yeah. They keep all of that on it. Yeah. So if you get a genuine leather, they've cut all that beautiful stuff off. Yeah. So and a lot of lounge suites, that's what they come with. Yeah. All leather jackets and things like that. So when we go back to what colours, it's like, well, if it's got character, that's awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know what you want. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I love that. And how did you come up with the name?
Well, growing up in Lenswood, everything had sort of a rusty touch to it. And we've always had blue wrens at home. We don't have them at my place, but every now and then you might see them. I don't know, it just sort of fell together.
Yeah.
And I love everything earthy and rusty. So rustic just, it was funny because I've had a few people go, ooh, it's not good enough because it's rustic. But I'm like, my product doesn't reflect rustic.
Yeah.
I try and have the rustic colour, but you have this sensational product that is not rustic at all. So you've got this that, I don't know, it's just made beautifully, but it doesn't have rustic in it. Like, it's just, it works, but then I also hope it doesn't reflect how it's meant, like it's made.
No, but the name feels right to you.
Yeah, it does.
And I mean, I really like it, but it's, you would always be wondering what people think. Sometimes that goes through your head, but if it feels right.
Or it's not got a bit of flesh still on it from the rustic leather that's been not tanned properly. No. It's like, no, it's all been tanned beautifully.
Yeah.
One day I would like to tan our own leather. I often get questions like, do I do that? And I'm like, no, that's a whole nother process. But one day maybe we'll try.
Yeah.
Yes, this is our little mascot here. She likes
being she is beautiful. She is beautiful. Beautiful. So I've noticed that you've recently done a couple of workshops at Peregrine Store, so October and December. Is that something you'll do again?
Yes, absolutely. All that just I absolutely love it.
Yeah. You made a leather journal at the the participants made one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just I was nervous to start with, but then once I started, I'm like, I've made a million of these things, I know what I'm doing. And the response from them was really nice as well. So we get to make the actual paper notebooks that go inside. The leather that wraps around it, you can sort of make it to suit you. And it just is such a nice atmosphere. And Peregrine is just lovely. If you haven't been, it is a big warm hug. And it is the most beautiful little store.
Well, I looked at it last night.
I said I'm going to take the kids over this week before holidays finish. So it is a really nice space, and Jess has been fantastic with it too. So we hope to have a couple more maybe in the holidays when school goes back.
Okay. So, beautiful.
And we might even do some journaling classes too.
Oh wow!
So you can actually use them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
because you're passionate about these things, it's probably not hard to teach it. I love that.
And it's funny because I often get people like will see me at the coffee shop or whatever and say, "You've got me journaling," because they see me doing it, or I don't necessarily. You might not get the feedback directly online, but then when I hear that, it's like, well, that's all that matters. If I can inspire one person to start writing a better story.
Amazing. That was wicked. You've been doing some markets. You've been busy last weekend and actually for a while now, haven't you? You've sort of just
we've finished for the year.
Yeah.
We did 3 over the weekend, and that was insane, but so much fun. It's hard work, but there's a lot of legwork to start with, a lot of making and whatever, but when it comes together and then you get people come past going, and you can see that they're drawn by their nose, so they come in nose first. It's been fantastic. So we did a couple also pageant as we do. Handle Chris Kringle Market all last weekend, and then Makers on Melrose, which is going to keep going into the new year. And gathered last week. So we've sort of done, I think it was like 7 or 8 days worth of markets in 9 days, or something stupid like it
tour.
So no, we're done for now.
Yeah, but there's more to come.
Good.
All right, and you've got a shop online. So rusticwren.com.au. Yep. And you've got plenty on there for people to buy. If you're local, you can buy up until the 23rd of December.
Absolutely.
Pick up. But it's been awesome to chat to you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
And I look forward to seeing the new product soon. I'm very excited. And I really appreciate it.